It was an unusually quiet morning at the White House. The golden glow of the rising sun bathed the historic building in soft light, casting long shadows across the south lawn. Inside, the usual bustle of aides, security personnel, and staff continued as expected. But no one noticed something unusual. Barron Trump was missing. At first, it didn't raise alarms. Being the president's youngest son, Barron had developed a reputation for staying out of the public eye. Unlike his elder siblings, Ivanka, Donald Jr., and Eric, who were heavily involved in politics and business, Barron preferred a life of solitude. He was often seen with his headphones on, lost in a world of music and books, or gaming away in his luxurious suite. But when Melania Trump realized that her son was not in his room, nor anywhere else in the private quarters, worry started to creep in. She called the Secret Service detail assigned to him, expecting a swift answer. "Where is Barron?" she asked, her voice controlled but firm. There was a pause on the line. Then came the unsettling reply. "Ma'am, Barron Trump was last seen in his room at 11:45 p.m. last night. After that, there has been no record of him leaving." Melania's heart pounded. She rushed to Barron's room. His bed was unmade, the sheets slightly crumpled, as if he had left in a hurry. His laptop was still open, the screen glowing faintly. A half-empty glass of water sat on his desk. But he was gone. She turned to the Secret Service agent standing at the door. "Search the White House. Every room, every hallway. Now." The command center buzzed into action. Agents spread out like a well-oiled machine, scanning security footage, checking visitor logs, and questioning every staff member who had been on duty. But the result was the same: nothing. It was as if Barron Trump had vanished into thin air. By noon, the situation had escalated beyond a simple case of a missing teenager. President Donald Trump, despite his packed schedule, was informed immediately. His face darkened upon hearing the news. "My son is missing, and no one knows where he is?" His voice was a mix of anger and disbelief. The news was kept from the public, at least for now. A full-scale internal investigation was launched, but the White House's own surveillance system showed no footage of Barron leaving the premises. Then came the first clue. A Secret Service agent, scanning the footage frame by frame, noticed something strange. A brief flicker in the recordings around 3:07 a.m. For precisely 2 minutes, the cameras near Barron's quarters had experienced a glitch. It was impossible. The security system of the White House was one of the most advanced in the world. Any interruption, even a minor one, was cause for concern. But the more they examined it, the more it became clear. Someone had intentionally erased those 2 minutes. The implications were chilling. Who had done this, and why? But more importantly, where had Barron gone? The White House, normally a fortress of control and precision, was now gripped by unease. Inside the Situation Room, President Trump sat with his most trusted aides, intelligence officers, and Secret Service heads. Melania, her face pale but determined, sat beside him. The footage was tampered with, one of the cybersecurity experts confirmed. This wasn't a system malfunction. Someone deliberately erased 2 minutes of security recordings. "That's impossible," Trump snapped. "No one gets past White House security. No one. We're dealing with someone who knew exactly what they were doing." The head of the Secret Service replied grimly. "Barron didn't just walk out. Someone helped him, or took him." The thought of kidnapping sent a shiver through the room. But there had been no ransom note, no demands, no threats. It didn't fit the pattern of a traditional abduction. Then, another breakthrough came, this time from Barron's laptop. An agent had been going through his browsing history when he stumbled upon something strange. "Sir," the agent said. Barron was researching small towns in the Midwest, places with low populations, far from major cities. Everyone leaned in. His last search was for a town called Hollow Creek, Missouri. Population, 2,300. Missouri. Trump frowned. What the hell is he doing looking at Missouri? No one had an answer, but this was the first real lead. The FBI was immediately tasked with investigating the area. Meanwhile, more details about Barron's movements started surfacing. One of the night staff, a janitor, reported something unusual. I saw the young Mr. Trump walking down the back corridor on the second floor around 3 a.m., he said. I thought it was odd, but I didn't question it. He was alone. This meant Barron hadn't been forcibly taken, at least not inside the White House. He had left of his own free will. But why? And how did he manage to leave one of the most secure buildings in the world? A call came through just as they were processing this information. It was from the CIA's intelligence division. We might have something, the agent on the other end said. A private jet left Reagan National Airport around 4 a.m. Small aircraft, registered to an unknown owner. It was headed toward. There was a pause. Hollow Creek, Missouri. A stunned silence filled the room. Melania gasped. He's on that plane. The president shot to his feet. Find out who owns that plane. And I want a team in Missouri now. Within hours, a specialized team was dispatched to Hollow Creek, Missouri. Aerial surveillance, satellite tracking, and even local law enforcement were brought into the loop, but everything led to dead ends. The private jet that had left Reagan National Airport had indeed landed at a small airstrip near Hollow Creek. However, by the time agents arrived, the plane was empty. Barron was nowhere to be found. Meanwhile, back at the White House, a discovery was made that changed the entire course of the search. Barron's laptop contained an encrypted file. It had been missed in the initial investigation, but a cybersecurity expert finally cracked it. Inside was a single document, a letter Barron had written before he disappeared. It read, "If you're reading this, I've already left. Please don't come looking for me. I need to do this on my own. Trust me, I'm safe. But there's something I have to find out, something bigger than all of us. I'll return when the time is right. Until then, don't believe everything you see on the news." The letter made no sense. What was Barron looking for? What was bigger than all of us? Trump slammed his fist on the table. What the hell is my son talking about? No one had an answer. However, a second clue emerged, one that deepened the mystery. Barron's search history contained more than just maps of Hollow Creek. He had also been looking into a man named Dr. Franklin Morris. A quick background check revealed that Dr. Morris was a reclusive scientist who had once worked on advanced artificial intelligence projects for the U.S. government. He had vanished from public life years ago. Where was he last seen? Hollow Creek, Missouri. It was too much of a coincidence. Trump, impatient and unwilling to sit back, turned to the intelligence director. I don't care what it takes. Find that scientist. And if Barron is with him, I want them both brought back. A new question was now haunting the search. Had Barron Trump left to meet a scientist hiding from the world? If so, why? The search for Dr. Franklin Morris intensified. The CIA, FBI, and Secret Service worked together, combing through decades-old files to find any trace of him. What they uncovered sent shockwaves through the White House. Dr. Morris wasn't just any scientist, he had been part of a highly classified government project in the late 1990s. The project, codenamed Echo, had focused on developing an AI system capable of predicting global events with near-perfect accuracy. But then something happened. In 2003, Dr. Morris abruptly resigned and disappeared. Officially, the project was shut down. Unofficially, rumors spread that Morris had taken something with him, something the government wanted back. And now Barron Trump had gone looking for him. But why? Then came a breakthrough. A local sheriff in Hollow Creek reported that an unfamiliar teenager had been spotted on the outskirts of town 2 nights ago. He had been seen entering an abandoned farmhouse, one that had long been rumored to be home to a reclusive old man. The pieces clicked into place. Barron had found Dr. Morris. A tactical team was immediately deployed. Within an hour, unmarked black SUVs pulled into Hollow Creek. Drones hovered overhead. Agents surrounded the farmhouse, weapons ready. Inside, Barron Trump and Dr. Franklin Morris sat at a wooden table, deep in conversation. The scientist, now in his 60s, looked weary but alert. "You have no idea what you're dealing with, Barron," he said, his voice low. Barron leaned forward. "I know more than you think." Morris sighed. "And that's exactly why they'll come for you." At that moment, headlights flashed through the broken windows. The ground rumbled as a convoy of SUVs came to a stop. "They're here," Morris whispered. Barron turned to the door, his heart pounding. He had known this moment would come. He just wasn't sure if he was ready for it. The door burst open. Agents stormed in. "Barron Trump, step away from the man." But Barron didn't move. Instead, he looked his father's top security officers dead in the eye and said something that made them freeze. "I know the truth. And if you take me back now, the world may never hear." The tension in the farmhouse was thick. Secret Service agents, armed and ready, stood motionless as Barron Trump held their gaze. Dr. Franklin Morris remained seated, calm despite the chaos surrounding him. The old scientist had the look of a man who had been waiting for this moment for years. The lead agent's radio crackled. "Stand by. We have orders from the president himself. Bring Barron back safely. The scientist is to be detained." Barron clenched his fists. "No, I came here for answers, and I'm not leaving until I get them." The agents hesitated, caught between protocol and the unexpected resistance of the president's son. Morris finally spoke. His voice was eerily steady. "Let him stay. What I have to say concerns all of you." The lead agent glanced at his team but gave a slow nod. 5 minutes. Morris turned to Barron. "You already suspect the truth, don't you?" Barron nodded. "Project Echo. It wasn't just an AI system, was it?" The scientist's eyes darkened. "No, it was something far more dangerous." Everyone in the room leaned in. Morris continued. "The government wanted a system that could predict not just global events, but the choices of every individual in real time. They wanted a way to see the future before it happened." One of the agents scoffed. "That's impossible." Morris gave him a hard look. "Is it? The human mind is just a complex system of patterns. Given enough data, enough computing power, we cracked the code." Barron swallowed hard. "You're saying the government already knows what people will do before they do it?" Morris nodded. "Not just people, leaders, nations, markets, wars. Every major event of the last 20 years. Echo predicted them all." The room was silent. Barron's voice was barely above a whisper. "Then why did you leave?" Morris hesitated, then sighed. "Because I saw what was coming. The program didn't just predict events, it could be used to manipulate them. To control the future, not just foresee it." Barron's eyes widened. "And my father?" Morris leaned forward. "Your father's presidency was predicted, down to the exact moment he would win. But what I saw next terrified me." Barron's heart pounded. "What did you see?" Morris hesitated. Then he said something that made the agents grip their weapons tighter. "A world where democracy is an illusion, where every choice is predetermined, and where the next leader of the free world has already been chosen." Barron felt his blood turn cold. "Who?" Morris looked him in the eye. "You." The words sent a shockwave through the room. The agents exchanged nervous glances. Barron stumbled back. "That's insane." Morris shook his head. "No, it's already happening. Every move you've made has been watched, calculated. They've been shaping you for years." Barron's mind raced. If Morris was telling the truth, then his entire life, his decisions, his actions, had never been his own. One of the agents touched his earpiece. "Sir, we have orders. We need to leave. Now." Morris gave Barron a sad smile. "The choice is yours. You can go back and pretend none of this is real, or you can fight for the truth." Barron took a deep breath. His entire life had changed in a single night. He looked at the agents, then at Morris, and he made his decision. He wasn't going back. The room erupted into chaos as Barron bolted for the back door. Morris followed. The agents shouted commands, but it was too late. Within seconds, the two had disappeared into the darkness. And just like that, Barron Trump had vanished again. But this time, he wasn't running away. He was running toward the truth.